haven't even made it to training camp yet. We have not even made it to the December 12th Women's USA Basketball training camp yet, and they are already disrespecting Caitlin.
It looks like Team USA is forcing Caitlin Clark to change her infamous 22 number to a...
Team USA just made a decision that has the entire basketball world losing its mind. They're forcing Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's basketball right now, to give up her iconic number 22. The backlash? Absolutely brutal. And now there are even whispers that Caitlin might refuse to play altogether if these changes keep piling up. Team USA is officially in panic mode. Before we dive into this absolute disaster, tell me in the comments, should Caitlin Clark be allowed to keep her number, or is Team USA right to enforce their rules? Because what's happening behind the scenes is way worse than anyone expected. Alright, so Team USA Basketball just dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the entire sports world, and you're not going to believe the reason behind it. They're forcing Caitlin Clark, the undisputed face of women's basketball, to abandon her iconic number 22. And let's be crystal clear about something. This isn't just a simple number change. This is being seen as a blatant, calculated act of disrespect that has fans, analysts, and absolutely everyone in between questioning the real intentions behind this shocking decision. We're talking about the star who single-handedly brought millions of new eyes to women's basketball, now being told that her most recognizable symbol, the very number on her back, has to be left behind. It's a move many are calling a deliberate slight, a slap in the face, especially when you consider her meteoric rise and the massive impact she's having on the sport. No name is bigger than Caitlin Clark in women's basketball right now. Her popularity is global, her influence undeniable, and somehow, this Team USA situation just keeps spiraling. Because here's the kicker. Caitlin was already snubbed from the Olympic roster earlier this year, and now this?
Clark, who is not one of the top 12 to 15 WNBA players, did not make the Olympic team. But Christian Laettner wasn't one of the top 100 players in the NBA, and he made an Olympic team. Olympic basketball team, men's and women's, has always been subjective and very political at the end of the roster. Isaiah Thomas didn't make it. Why? Michael Jordan didn't like him. The WNBA Finals had 700,000 viewers. The draft that included Caitlin Clark had 3 times as many. Life, whether it's a relationship, business, sports, life gives you so few big waves. When they do, grab your surfboard. Women's basketball feels like it's suffering from spite or historically low self-esteem, where they want to prove that they know more than you do. It's an opportunity.
And now, not only are they continuing to disrespect her, but they're also forcing her to give up the number that has become synonymous with her entire career. This bombshell announcement dropped just ahead of Team USA's critical training camp in North Carolina, scheduled from December 12th through the 14th. What was supposed to be a celebration, a showcase of the most elite talent in the world, featuring stars like Paige Buchers, Juju Watkins, and more, instantly transformed into the center of an unprecedented and frankly bizarre controversy. Instead of excitement, the air shifted to confusion, frustration, and disbelief. The camp that should have highlighted unity and greatness is now overshadowed by one of the strangest decisions Team USA has ever made.
This is the these are the Team USA. And these are the player numbers. So obviously, Kelsey Plum, number 5. Jackie Young, 13. You have Griner, 15. Chelsea Gray, 8. Kalia Copper, 7. And then everybody that was not on the roster is above number 15.
Reports started surfacing early in the morning, revealing a shocking mandate that would effectively strip Clark of the number that has become completely synonymous with her record-shattering college career and her dominant run in the WNBA. And the timing? Absolutely baffling. This decision comes right as her fame is exploding on a global scale, a moment when her influence is at its highest, which only intensifies the outrage pouring in from her dedicated and rapidly growing fan base. Make absolutely no mistake about it. Caitlin Clark's number 22 isn't just some random jersey number. It is, without a single shred of doubt, the most recognizable number in all of women's sports right now. Period. There is no debate. There is no argument that can be made against that fact. From her jaw-dropping, record-breaking performances at the University of Iowa to her electrifying rise in the WNBA, the number 22 has become an inseparable part of her identity. It's a beacon, a symbol that fans can spot instantly from the nosebleed seats in packed arenas or on television screens across the world. To the people who follow her, it's not just a number stitched onto a jersey. It's a legacy in motion. Her brand, her story, her journey, everything that has made Caitlin Clark the phenomenon she is intrinsically and powerfully tied to that number. That number, it embodies the audacious long-range three-pointers, the almost psychic court vision, and the sheer, unbreakable will to win that has captivated an audience far beyond traditional basketball fans. She has become so intertwined with the number 22 that it mirrors the way Michael Jordan is forever tied to 23, or Wayne Gretzky to 99. To demand a change at this point in her career feels less like a routine adjustment and more like a deliberate attempt to dilute the incredibly powerful connection she's built. It's a perplexing, head-scratching move that leaves absolutely everyone asking what the true motivation could possibly be. And here's what makes this even more frustrating for her supporters. This isn't the first time USA Basketball has seemingly undervalued Caitlin Clark's unprecedented influence on the game. Remember earlier this year when she was conspicuously, almost shockingly, snubbed from the Olympic roster? That glaring omission stunned fans and analysts alike, especially considering her undeniable global appeal and the massive TV viewership she consistently delivers. This emerging pattern of either overlooking or actively undermining her meteoric rise is fueling intense speculation that there may be a deeper, more complicated agenda at play. Perhaps a resistance within the organization to fully embracing the revolutionary game-changer she clearly is. Because when you look at the facts, none of this adds up unless you consider that Team USA might be feeling threatened by just how big Caitlin has become. So, what number will she be wearing? The official word is that Caitlin Clark will be wearing number 17 for the upcoming USA training camp. 17. And while it might seem like just an arbitrary number on its own, its true significance lies in one simple fact. It is absolutely not number 22. This forced change, especially when you consider the immense brand recognition she brings to the sport, raises an entire avalanche of questions. You have to wonder, is this a calculated move by the organization to assert its control, to remind everyone who really holds the power? Or is it simply a tone-deaf, completely out-of-touch decision that fails to grasp the cultural impact and global resonance of her established brand? Either way you slice it, the message being sent to Clark and her fans feels uncomfortably clear. We're in charge, and your popularity doesn't matter to us. What makes this whole situation even more perplexing, and frankly, infuriating, for so many of her supporters is the stunning revelation that no one, absolutely no one, on the USA Basketball training camp roster will be wearing number 22. Let that sink in for a moment. It's not as if the number was claimed by a seasoned veteran or a respected star with a long-standing attachment to it. The number is simply sitting there, empty and used and completely available. And that single detail changes everything. It transforms the situation from a possible roster conflict into what feels, to many, like an overt and undeniable act of marginalization toward the most influential, most popular, and most transformative player of her generation. If nobody else is wearing the number, why force Caitlin to change? The logic doesn't exist. The justification collapses instantly. And that's exactly why people are furious. This specific slight against Clark is more than just a jersey issue. It's a loud, glaring reminder of the broader disrespect that women in sports, especially in the WNBA, face every single day. It ties directly into the ongoing battles for equitable pay, for safer and more dignified travel conditions, and for the basic recognition these athletes deserve for their extraordinary skill and dedication. Think about it. When the most visible and influential star in the entire sport is treated like this, it sends a negative message that ripples across the entire league. It echoes the long-standing frustrations and highlights the deep-rooted systemic issues that continue to plague women's basketball, even in the middle of its biggest explosion in popularity. the tense, increasingly heated discussions surrounding the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement and the very real possibility of a lockout only emphasize how serious these issues have become. Players are speaking louder than ever about feeling profoundly undervalued by team owners. They point to a massive disconnect between the league's growth, much of which they created, and the compensation they receive in return. So no, this number change isn't just some isolated annoyance. It's another data point in a much bigger story, a story of female athletes being consistently, repeatedly undervalued. WNBA players are exhausted by the endless negotiation battles and are finally ready to stand firm for what they know they deserve. Demands for contracts in the $1.10 to $2 million range, still tiny compared to their male counterparts, are not seen as radical, but as basic fairness given the value they bring. The sentiment is unmistakable. The owners are being disrespectful. And when that climate of disrespect already exists, forcing a global superstar to change her iconic number isn't just a bad decision. It's gasoline poured onto an already burning fire. Because if they'll disrespect Caitlin Clark like this, what message does that send about how they view every other player in the league? Now, to be clear, Caitlin Clark isn't the only WNBA star who wears number 22. Aya Wilson, a phenomenal talent and respected veteran, also wears it, as do other great players like Cameron Brink. Yes, this has sparked conversations in the past about how high-profile players might navigate sharing the number, especially in all-star scenarios. But here's the key difference. Those discussions have always been about grace, about mutual respect, about who might voluntarily defer. Never, not once, has it been about forcibly stripping one of the biggest stars in the game of her signature number without precedent, explanation, or justification. Last year, a possible number conflict between Clark and Wilson for an All-Star game was conveniently avoided when Clark didn't play due to injury. That sidestepped the issue entirely, sparing the league from this exact fiasco. The hypothetical situation of sharing or negotiating number 22 had lingered for years, always leaving a question hanging in the air. Now, it seems USA Basketball has solved the problem in a way that many see as completely one-sided, pushing Caitlin Clark into a new number without any apparent justification for such a drastic and controversial move. Beyond Aya Wilson, other notable players like Cameron Brink have also donned number 22, adding to its storied legacy in women's basketball. Each of these athletes has carved their own history with the number, but none have achieved the immediate, global recognition and cultural impact that Caitlin Clark has brought to number 22 in such a short period. That's what makes this forced change so jarring to witness. Then came the confirmation everyone feared. The official roster for the USA Basketball training camp dropped. And there it was, plain as day, Caitlin Clark listed with number 17. The validation was undeniable. The forced swap wasn't a rumor or speculation anymore. It was official. For fans who had hoped the initial reports might be premature, the roster left no room for doubt. Interestingly, other players, like Angel Reese, were listed with their familiar numbers, signaling that this wasn't a universal mandate applied to everyone. The contrast highlights just how unique, and frankly strange, Clark's situation is. This wasn't about logistics or fairness. It was a targeted redirection for the one player currently commanding the most attention in women's basketball. A look back at footage from 2017, showing a younger Caitlin Clark in her high school days, reveals she wore number 11. While she has worn different numbers throughout her journey, number 22 is the one she made iconic at the collegiate and professional levels. So there it is. Team USA forced Caitlin Clark to give up her signature number 22. And now, they may be facing the consequences of disrespecting their biggest star. What do you think? Should Caitlin refuse to play? Or should she just accept the change? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more basketball drama.